Hey there, everybody. It's Matthew. I'm here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I'm walking to work. It is March 9th. We're in a little bit of a recording hiatus, but I'm just calling in, hopefully that this will be able to be included in tomorrow's release. Been thinking a lot about Ukraine. I'm of Ukrainian background. I still have family there. I've been in touch with them. They're okay, but they're frightened, but they are angry. So, if you guys could call in, I'm going to do this. Call in and tell them that one Ukrainian listener, I know we have a few downloads from there. Maybe this is a small thing to do, but just call in. And if you don't want to talk about No Means No, maybe this will reach a listener who has the little bit of spare time and a little extra brain cell with what's going on over there. Maybe listening to a dumb podcast about a dumb band, and tell them where you're from and that you're listening, and say, Slava Ukraini, Heriam Slava. We're listening. We're listening. We're watching, and we love you. Hang in there.
Welcome back, No Means Nerds, No Means Nothing Nicks, whatever the fuck you are. This is No Means No Thing, No Means Nothing, episode 30. We're turning 30 years old today, folks. Well, not years. 30 episodes old. That's a little bit weird.
The inevitable decline.
But, exactly.
The inevitable decline.
The Saturn returns of the podcast. And we'll see how we do tonight. But I'm one of your hosts, Jordan.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Michelle. Yes.
And we're three idiots who are going to do our best to pit four No Means No songs. No, 2 against 2, I guess. We're going to offer up 4 No Means No songs, dive in, geek out. I've got a pocket full of googly eyes.
Yeah.
And I've got my Depends undergarments on for pants pooping.
Nice.
I think we got 4 good ones tonight. I'm really looking forward to diving into them. But I'm also real nervous. I got the votes are hard. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, but they're all good ones. They're all good ones. Not a bummer among them. So before we tell you what we got on deck, let's tell you what we're drinking. What's our dreck? I've got a Marniac.
Hey, the old standby.
The old standby, and my daughter once again was accusing me of drinking rubbing alcohol. So here's to rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
So
that tastes good.
What'd she say this time when you let her try
it? Unfortunately, this time her mother was also sitting at the table, so I couldn't give her some.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
Next time.
No,
next time.
Later, before bedtime.
Before bed, exactly. That helps you sleep. Actually, I might have to do that again because my daughter is deathly afraid of spiders, like super phobic. And last night there was one on the wall right above her bed, and so Daddy slept in her room and she slept in my room because she's like, fuck you. I'm not going in that room forever. Burn it to the ground.
Oh
so
my
I'm
God.
hoping tonight.
I have the exact opposite problem she does.
What's your problem? You love spiders too much?
I love spiders. Yeah.
I used to be really phobic of them. Now I do love them. So there's hope for her. We'll see.
Hey, you maybe,
anyway.
You're with the Victoria Bug Zoo. Maybe you could bring her up there someday.
Nope.
Love that
not going to happen. Not in a bazillion years.
Oh, I
Michelle,
love
what are you drinking?
Spiders. Oh, I love them.
I do too.
And
what about the big green millipedes?
Well, okay. All right. 8 legs. It stops at 8 legs. Anything more than that? No.
Well, the thing about the millipedes, do you remember, did you have one crawl on you? Those big gray...
I had a stick bug. I had a stick bug crawl on me.
Oh, the
Ooh, stick bugs
gunmetal
are
gray
awesome.
millipedes. It feels really, really cool. But then they have those segments, and then there's another little arthropod, would run out from a segment and then underneath another segment. Some sort of commensal parasite.
I am not a fan of where this is going at all. Let's move on to the drinking. Michelle, what we got? What we got in your cup?
I'm doing really good with not having beer during the week, except for
glad to hear
podcast day. Yep, podcast day and Friday. I'm gonna have 2 tonight, and then I'm gonna have tomorrow 2 when I watch Bill Maher. So here's my Guinness that I haven't had.
Cheers
since
to that
Friday, and I'll open it here for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that sound.
You guys make sexual noises when you hear that.
Well, it's a little sexual.
It's a sexual noise.
It is. Ooh, it's juicy.
Listen, you and your widgets.
Yeah, what are we going to do when that song comes up? That's got to be like,
oh my God,
fucking A.
Me and you are going to sing it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we know what I've got. We know what Michelle's got. Matthew, what is on your plate in a glass, as it were?
I only had one beer left, and it was the one gifted to me by Fader, and I'm
Fader.
the Absinthe Stout. But that's gonna have to wait because I went to the liquor store on the way home today. The way to the garage, although the garage is not at home right now. I'm living elsewhere for a time being because of his asbestos vacation.
Asbestos!
Hey, asbestos the best.
Yeah, so look what I found.
Asbestos. Uh-oh, what is that?
What the fuck is that?
Can you read that?
Garage series.
The garage
series.
Yeah. The garage series from Main Street Brewing.
That's funny.
It doesn't actually say the alcohol volume, but it's a 500 milliliter bottle instead of 650. And it's got the fancy top on it. Check it out.
Whoa!
Ooh, look at that! One of them the little wire frame
wire
fuckers.
dealies. I hope it's not going to foam all over me. Then bring a fucking
the little Barbie wire chair.
I don't have a glass.
Are you going to drink it out of the bottle like a badass?
Straight out of the bottle.
I have to. We all our shit's packed up in our kitchen.
At least get a paper bag to put around it so that it's
Yeah. So I'm gonna point it away from the numerous screens that I have. So try and get it near the microphone though. Oh, come on now. It's got a cork in it. See? Put a cork in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not opening. He's attempting. He's struggling. Will it pop?
I don't know if it's going to be like a poppy type thing.
Get a drill.
No, man.
He's going to do it.
The cork is like stretching and shit. I don't want that to break. Might have to do.
All right.
It should be.
It's time for the needle nose pliers here.
It needs to be one of those little mushroom corks. I hate it when they don't do that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I can tell you what it looks like you're doing, and it's not holding a bottle of beer.
It's holding my mushroom cork.
He's holding his mushroom cork. Here, I'm just gonna get. The audience has been waiting long enough. There we go. We're just gonna do a little fake cork.
What's going on with this thing?
It's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. I just don't want you to get cut. I hate that. Oh, I hate that.
Getting cut on corks. Oh, that's what she said.
No, the bottle. The man is in distress here.
He is. This is good podcasting. I tell you what.
Man. Yeah.
It's like taking a big shit, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, what we anticipated
the bottle is
to
constipated.
Yeah, it is. This is where we're at now, folks.
Holy crap!
You can't even drink.
Main Street Brewing, if you're listening, your corks are too long. Your
corks are too. There is such a thing as too big, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, you're
Look
getting
at that.
it.
It's almost there. I promise, ladies and gentlemen. It's
oh, how anticlimactic! Oh my.
Yeah, that's all right.
That beer.
It's corks, but it didn't have it. I better get. Yeah. Okay.
The good news is,
cheers, everybody! God damn it!
Cheers
from the Garage series.
Good to see you guys.
I love it.
From the garage.
That better taste
Drink
good.
up. All right, everybody.
It's really good, but it's barely even carbonated. So I guess that's why it didn't pop.
Okay. Oh no! This is.
You think it's flat or just by design? Maybe it's by design.
Yeah. There's no information on the. I tore off the little thing, what kind of beer it actually is, but
it's a pain in the ass beer.
Are you getting hints of chocolate or
it's delicious?
Corvid feather. All right,
we start off.
Coffee.
All right, guys. Here we go. Let's tell them what they've won, ladies and gentlemen. The first two contenders this week. In this corner, we have Predators off of Worldhood of the World, as such, 1995. Although I think from much, much earlier in the band's existence, as there is a pretty great YouTube video of this with Andy playing this in a school gymnasium when they look like they're all about 15 years old.
Holy shit, yes, I've seen it.
So this song goes way back, and it goes up against Ghosts off of 0 plus 2 equals 1, and also kind of slightly off of 0 plus 2 equals 1.5. From 1991 and 2010, respectively. Predators versus Ghosts. I mean, fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with Predators. So excuse me while I take a big rip of this raw meat and let you hear a little bit of this relish.
When we were young, we played among the flowers and sucked upon the nipples of our mother's tits. But now before us all, nature cowers. With fear and death, we molded our relationship. The breeze is blowing lightning through the treetop. The sun is out, we're basking in the light of day. The birds are eating bugs out of our sore spots. The clouds are drifting as we dream the hours away. But I got restless, a little hungry. So I jumped into my car. Did not go far. Found a parking spot and jumped out for a walk. Using my eyes, using my ears. I'm walking, I'm smelling. I'm walking, I'm smelling. Something's cooking, I smell something cooking. Something's cooking,
All right.
I smell something.
That was Predators, which is only bass and fucking drums. How does a song sound? These guys can make a song sound so fucking full, so rich, so groovy, and it's just the goddamn two of them playing this song. It's fucking crazy. So absolute classic, probably one of my favorite on this albums. I think it's an absolute classic. Always great fun to hear live. They must have fucking loved it because it's a really early song and they must have been playing it for a long time until they finally put it on this record. Super, super good. I just think the music on this, which I'll start off talking about first, maybe before I dive into the lyrics, is so fucking fun. This is a head bobbing, fucking knee slapping, rockabilly, fucking punk, bluesy, just fucking great. It's just great. This song is fun. This is on that pole of funny, fun, no means no songs that are just a goddamn joy. And it comes at the perfect time on the album. Beautiful sequencing as usual. I always love this song. It's just, it's a joy when this song comes on, for fucking sure. And as usual with their songs that are a lot of fun, well, maybe not as usual, but as is often the case, it also has some really dark and great fucking things to say, even though it's a great, kind of toe tapping, chest thumping, little rockabilly masterpiece. I fucking love it. I think it's a really neat song about, or at least, the kind of shit that I pull from it. I don't know actually that it's that hidden of a meaning in this song, frankly, but I think it's a really great kind of exploration of how we've completely lost touch with the sort of, first of all, contact with nature, but just our primitive nature. How to describe this best? There's a parallel way they're talking about this theme in this that I really love. One is just in any of our own lives from birth until we're old fucks, how we start off with this great sense of wonder, this great sense of, kind of natural connection with the earth, whether that's sucking on our mother's tits or looking up at the clouds full of wonder, and everything's just this magical, full of life and vigor. And then that slowly, it all goes to shit. We get we're covered in sores and we're sitting in front of the goddamn TV with our TV fucking dinners. And so they trace really beautifully, that sort of arc from our own individual childhood to our old age. But they're also, I think, in parallel, talking about mankind's childhood versus our current place, like our ancestors and how much more connected they were with the earth, but also how we're fucking animals, and that we're animals that came from predators. We're animals that came from a sense of violence to survive, and yet we've inured ourselves from that violence. We now eat processed meat out of plastic trays. We don't understand that came from a living creature, that creature had to be killed, and that creature probably suffered in its death. So there's this kind of beauty and terror in the idea in these other lyrics where they talk about jumping out of the car, chasing down like a young deer and just ripping its heart out with your fucking teeth. That's a violent and bloody image, but that's not nearly as horrifying as the reality, which is that we're trapping hundreds of thousands of fucking young animals in a tiny little area and raising them purely for the purpose of killing them in the most horrific conditions possible. Yet we don't look at that normally as horrible, but that's far more horrifying than this idea of chasing down an individual animal in the one-on-one hunt and tearing its heart out with your bare teeth, right? We look at that as savage. It's not nearly as savage and brutal and awful as the shit that we're actually doing so that you and I don't have to be related to the carnage that we undertake as a society in order to feed ourselves. And I really like that dichotomy in this sort of naked, raw joy in this idea of, fuck, I kind of just woke up and realized, what the fuck am I doing sitting in this easy chair? I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to run out in the woods, and I'm just going to fucking chase down some young fucking buck and rip its heart out with my bare teeth. And I think exemplified
only if you
in
have
that
the right permits and the right time of year, you can do that.
Exemplified in those perfect last words. I have no blood on my hands. I have blood on my teeth. Right? Like, that's how we all get to be. We don't have to have blood on our hands from what we're doing. We just get to eat it. We just get to taste the joy of the end of it. We don't have to get our hands fucking dirty in order to get to get our meat, our sustenance. But I just love the way they sort of go back and forth in the lyrics with the parallel of an individual life and sort of mankind as a whole, and just the terror but joy in the idea of being a predator. I know John is not a vegetarian, right? This is not really a song necessarily about being a vegetarian. No, but it is a song about how we have completely lost contact with what it means to be a predator. We aren't really predators anymore. We've outsourced that to other people. And in doing that, we've sort of lost a part of ourselves, but also outsourced it to other areas and channeled it into other areas like fucking sports. There's that great line about, about all the voices screaming from the arena, right? So this idea that all that violence and anger and sort of predatory nature, we're just channeling into fucking people
football.
Wearing football pads and chasing around and banging each other's heads, with giving each other concussions. But it's just that juicy irony, and yet a kind of a look back to our real essence, our real nature in a song that's fun as fucking hell, right? In a real pants pooping, toe tapping song. I think this is one of their pillars for me of that side of No Means No, of the really kind of joy. I don't say joyful,
it's like
but
ironic,
funny, ironic, a little detached, and yet underneath it's saying something. It's still saying something real. It's still saying something important and powerful with really, really good songwriting, lyrically and musically. And fucking A, all the little interjections in this are just classic. Little John, John just, not Little John, John giving his little interjections, and all the way down to the very end with Rob's fucking beautiful redneck, and the dogs, and then that final relish. That's just, I mean, chef's kiss. So good. So good. All right, I'm done. Michelle, what do you got?
All right. I wrote down that this is a raunch funk fest. Come on, isn't one of this the funnest No Means No songs ever? A perfect union of everything we love about the band, especially in the kooky department. John's here it is. John's vocal interjections in here are completely hilarious, and so are Rob's. At times, you can even hear them smirking. What's the one where John does something, and you can tell they must have been recording the vocals at the same time, because John does something, and Rob just kind of giggles a little bit. While this song isn't the most technically advanced tune, you gotta admire the laydown you're hearing, especially Rob's bass attacks. This is a romp around the pit while you stupidly high-five your dork pals. Right? The ending is especially juicy, and there's some bits of tritone and half-step goodness to stir in some dread. And, of course, our beloved relish.
Relish.
I gotta go.
So good.
Matthew, you can start talking now, but I gotta go get something, and I forgot to get it, but I want you to see it. So I'll be right back. Just start on your thing. I'll be right back.
All right, Matthew, you're up.
Well, the first thing I wrote was John interjections. So this is a real good one for that. Yeah, indeed. He's now I can hear myself through Strangey's headphones through Strangey's microphone. I can't actually hear myself through my own headphones. This is confusing. Anyway, I love this. The snarly kind of blues. You said rockabilly, sort of bluesy, maybe an older style. I don't know, super fun and silly, and yet still like toe tapping. Makes you want to shake your butt. And I always like when, I sort of take one perspective. And we never know, or maybe Jordan knows, but who's going to go first. So I'm always gratified when I have found a different take on stuff that you've said, because I totally agree with what you've said, but I found like some different angles, which
nice.
I totally agree with yours, but I love it when you were able to flesh it out. For me, it's like the joy and the acceptance of that we're all predators. I mean, definitely we're distanced from it. But for a certain aspect of the song, I think this is like a lighter side of Ashes, where, the predator that this guy's talking about, I jumped out for a walk. That's somebody who's going to go and attack somebody. Something's cooking. There's a victim out there. For me,
I see what you're saying.
And so the it's almost a good thing that we eat plastic meat, processed meat out of a plastic tray, because what's left, the actual predators are that kind of predator. So general like predation of humans, like we started out as predators, but then I thought it was pretty interesting. The birds are eating bugs out of our sore spots. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I think they're called oxpeckers. They land on the backs of large mammals. And I think they actually,
I've seen those.
they take the like little bugs off of big critters. And I think they actually do, or maybe even smaller ones, off of, your zebus and your rhinoceroses. But I think there are smaller ones that actually help out lions. And I think maybe that's a reference to lions. And I think also the A Thousand Voices Call from the Arena. This is Christians versus lions in the Roman arena.
Right. I thought about that too. Yeah, the Roman arena.
And that, this type of thing, we are distanced from the predation. We're distanced from the violence. We're sitting in our little dark apartments eating, Hungry Man. But we're still in the Colosseum. We're still watching the violence. That's still our entertainment. We're distanced from it. We don't do it ourselves, but we still are connected to it and can't distance ourselves completely from it. But yeah, as we dream the hours away, the complacency that we, again, like what you were saying, Jordan, that we don't have to do that stuff. We don't have to do the dirty work. We have to, just go down to the Safeway and find your meat wrapped under plastic, take it home and, maybe cook it, maybe not, who knows, roll around in it, whatever.
Roll around in it.
My favorite John interjection is, "Oh boy."
Boy.
Yeah.
So great. That's just like, this is my meal. I'm gonna do that when I go to his restaurant and like I get my burger or whatever. It's like, oh boy.
Boy.
Do it.
Oh God.
I dares you.
I love the last like really dissonant chord when everything is going kind of crazy. It's like relish. It's like it's like can't even pay attention to the music anymore. I mean, like it gets in sort of coda at the end of the song. It gets much faster and rhythmic. It's like running, chasing down prey.
Yes,
super great. And I love the
Who
word
eats relish anymore.
Relish, but relish is like satisfaction as well as
exactly
the condiment. What else did I
Perfect.
I had something else in there, but anyway, super fun, super great song. I think that there it is. I have no blood on my hands, I have blood on my teeth. But what does it mean if I say I have blood on my hands?
Oh, that means
you're
guilty. You're
guilty
of something.
You're guilty. I have no blood on my hands. I feel no guilt for this. I feel no guilt for my role as a predator. But such a serious and silly song, but I think it has a lot in common thematically with Ashes in some ways, and Slugs Are Burning in another way. For sure. We can't get super distance from our nature, even if we are super distance from our nature. You're never going to fully put it away.
In there.
Yeah,
still in there and get sublimated into all these other fucked up places.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about it for me. And
nice.
Predators.
Hey, I want to show you something. I'm really
what'd you go get?
See it. And
show
Matthew, I want you to tell people if you can see the picture.
Oh, hey.
Oh, Matthew, look at your little baby face. Could you see it?
Oh, yeah.
What
it's
is
me.
Wow.
And Pavel and Blair Kalibaba. And is that John?
No.
Yeah, that's Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
It's Rob. And what's Blair eating?
Relish.
Something green. Relish. Oh, nice.
Relish.
And we're on the
ferry from
the ferry. Yeah. Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
I don't know which ferry that is. That's either from, we went on so many ferries, like Vancouver to Nanaimo or Courtney to Powell River. But one of them,
Look
one
at
of them
Matthew.
ferries.
Look at you.
Yeah. And Pavel's wearing a wrong shirt. This asshole came all the way from
good
Poland to go to those shows.
Yeah.
I think, we all claim to be No Means No fans and everything like that. I have a feeling that Pavel is, head and shoulders above us.
I think he laps us quite a bit.
Shirt, man. I love his picture.
Hey! He didn't start a fucking podcast. God damn it! Hey,
true.
He could be on there though.
No,
but you. So I think Blair got a packet of relish, and then we were going to ask, or we were trying to get Rob to be like, "Hey, what is this? Can you tell me
what is that,
this
Rob?
is?
What's that say?
What's that? What is this? Can you get?"
And he's like, "Rob's got this sort of. I don't know. I don't know.
Michelle,
Mustard?
Why are you taking a picture of us getting food? That's Rob. We were going to try to make him say relish.
We might need to post that on the Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to tell me how to send this to you because I only have it like in a picture.
Just take a photo with your phone.
Take a photo.
Okay.
All right, let's grab this wheel of this ferry and we're going to turn it all the way around and go in the entirely opposite direction.
Oh my, yes.
For a song of a completely different caliber on the other pole, the other extreme, the South Pole of No Means No. Michelle's just on the sign of the cross, upside down appropriately.
I'm crucifying my soul.
We are going to talk about ghosts. So buckle up, get out your crucifixes, and let's listen to a bit of this monster piece.
Without ghosts and no spirits without hope, but nobody passes the test of time. You stand in line, you have your place, and in the space of moments fall from again and again and again to not at all. From again and again and again to not at all. I do not fear the buried sounds of words that echo underground. A memory is a loaded gun, and I remember.
All right, fucking ghosts. Okay, so let me see what I'm feeling incoherent tonight anyway, and this song is gonna make me feel extra incoherent because I think this song deals with a lot of shit that's hard to talk about or hard to nail down. First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I'm sure most of you out there have already seen it, but if you haven't, go to YouTube and type in No Means No Ghosts of Time to see this fabulous performance from 2012, I think, from a set where somebody had a great fucking setup, whatever this radio station was, and they fucking recorded a bunch of songs, and this is one of the ones they recorded. This version of this song,
it's John Porn.
This version of this song is incredible, and it's without most of the lyrics, which some people may like. I mean, I loved it, but I do love the lyrics on this. I've kind of heard, I don't remember where I read in an interview that Rob wasn't super happy with this song lyrically. I don't know why, but I love it. But that is a great version of it. And then I mentioned that it had a little bit of play on 0 + 2 = 1.5. There's that medley of Victim's Choice and Happy Bridge and Joy, and then there's this, and it's only the opening of Ghosts, and then it fades out. So you could tell they were just sort of demoing it.
I would say it's the most out of all those four songs, it's the most distant from, or the least formed of all those ones on the 0 + 2 = 1.5.
That's right. Album. It's like you could tell they had found a riff that they wanted to play around, and but they hadn't fully fleshed it.
So well, it's certainly thematically different from the other ones that they've thrown it in with, like
100%.
Yeah.
And just a moment, like to talk about the format of this podcast. One of the things that I consistently find really interesting is how listening to two songs paired up against each other makes me compare them and contrast them for no reason, right? It's like songs come up on shuffle. You don't really think about comparing and contrasting them. But when I have to dive deeply into these songs, I can't help but start to think of either oppositions or parallels, that sort of thing.
Right.
And I just find that really interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting part of this process. And so we've got a song in terms of its tone, in terms of its musicianship, in terms of everything, in my opinion, on the polar opposite, another exemplar, but on the polar opposite, this is a lengthy, epic, dirgy, dark, scary fucking masterpiece. Very moody and also with guitar, right? Which is not, and I would say fucking a brilliant example of how Andy is once, I forget where he said this, that he often looked at the guitar more as a object than an instrument in the sense. And I think this song exemplifies that so fucking well. The way that he is just using it in these brilliant ways and these creepy little interstitials, and even the riffs are just like the way he like has that little up while John's doing the it's just the interplay between the guitar, and also and I know they do this in more songs, but for some reason this one stands out to me more, that there are layered guitars. It's not Andy coming in with a single guitar. He's got at least two tracks going, maybe more, of different riffs that are going on. And they're all really crunchy, really edgy. They're providing a type of atmosphere in this song that totally sells it and totally like wraps the bow on the feeling of it. The bass is amazing. Of course, the bass is fucking amazing. The drums are incredible. But to me, it's the guitar in this that sets that tone that puts me on the edge of my fucking seat. That's just always got me like, just creeped the fuck out in the best possible way. So the song is called Ghosts. On one hand, it is about, it's not about ghosts in the sense of ghosts in the traditional way, although it kind of is, but I think it's about a lot more than that too. I mean, yes, on a certain level, this is about our relationship with death, our relationship with those who have died, and our fear of our own death and our fear of those that we've lost. And the fact that all that's left when someone dies is what remains in us, right? This echo, this memory, this thin impression that is not real, right? It's not a real thing. And yet it can terrify us. Now, I'm not talking about in the ghost way, but just, the regrets that we have, the questions we have, the loss that we feel haunts us. That's the real ghost, are these impressions that are left when someone dies. And then our own fear of, what does that mean when we die? I mean, again, that's one of the most basic questions you can have. But Rob has done a really brilliant job at sort of explicating the terror of confronting that question. I mean, there's so many great lines in this. Things like, you stand in line, you have your place, then in the space of moments fall from again and again and again to not at all. Just that beautiful way of the way he says it of, here's life, moment, nothing. Right.
And Andy's playing the guitar like real subtly with those
it's so
words.
fucking good.
Yeah.
But then I think,
and he's like, sort of following the meter of the words with the guitar.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. This is not my favorite of Andy's songs, probably, but in terms of the guitar work, I don't know that enough people. Maybe they do, but this song, you really need to appreciate the guitar in the song. It is it's fucking stellar, and a great exemplar of Andy. I think 0+2 is probably. I mean, it was his last album, but for me, it's the pinnacle of Andy's playing, and this song is high up on there for me. But that's. I mean, I say that now. I'd say that about all the albums he's played on at one time or another. Right? But there's also something here that's more than just about death. When I really read this song and I really listen to it, there's this refrain that Rob is really sneery about this. Do you really care? Do you really care? There is no one there. And it almost makes me feel this sense of, okay, so someone dies. They're no longer there. All I have is this image of them in my head that haunts me. But what's so different about that than when they're alive? If there is no soul that continues, then what's really there? What's really there that I'm attached to? In the end, it's all just my memories, my impressions. Do I really care? Do I really know what that means? Or is the fact, when I confront the fact that there's death, that maybe there's nothing and that nothing of me survives, then what is here? And what is there for me to care about? And I'm just saying that confronting that question can be terrifying.
Well, just don't be an asshole and you won't have that problem.
It kind of opens a hole at the center of existence when you look too long at it, to just realize, and I've talked about this before in other of his songs, and I know that Rob has really deeply looked at this question of what about my experience of the world is real and what about it is purely my own subjective, nature. And that goes down to the very core of what it means to look at another person. And I think if you stare into the eyes of death long enough, stare into the reality of death long enough, you can start to question the very nature of relationship and what that means. And I don't know that that's the main thrust of the song, but I get echoes of that throughout it. It's not, to me, just about death, although it is about death and beautifully so, and about memory and about, I think in a certain way, in a much more punk way, I think It's Catching Up deals with some of these themes a bit in a similar way. This idea that there's just what we attach about from other people, what remains, the traces that remain are the things that haunt us, are the things that chase us, are the ghosts that we live with, that we can't escape. And in a way, that's more real than the other people, because that's what we live with all the time in our own fucking shell, in our own. And so then what are we? You got to look back at the question of, then what am I? If I'm
recording devices.
if I'm again and again and again and then not at all, then do you really care? There's no one there. Like, what the fuck?
Heady.
Just beautiful poetry and scary poetry. I mean, and some of his great wordplay. He has, I mean, the lyrics on this album, front to back, are just fucking amazing. We've covered most of the songs by this point, and this song is no exception. All of the bodies have been laid to rest.
2.
Nobody passes the test of time, the long climb into thin air. There's no one there. That is so dark and scary and honest. This is what I love about the terror they confront you with, is that it's just fucking honest. It's looking at shit straight on, right in the eyes. And Rob does not pull any punches on this song. I think that when he is shouting those lines, "Do you really care?" And the way that the engineer, I don't know if the engineer did this on purpose, but it almost blows his voice out a little bit so that it's really screechy. It's unnerving to me. It's like he's just, I can see his face looking at me when he's asking that question, because he's asking it sarcastically yet earnestly. I mean, this song it's so fucking good and really richly layered and hard to pin down for me. I don't think this is about one thing. I think this is about many things, but often about that void at the center of our existence that we spend our entire lives trying to avoid. And I think one of the verses that really exemplifies that for me is, "There are no castles without ghosts and no spirits without hope." Meaning the only thing that creates the idea of spirit is our naive feeling of hope, right? Without hope, the need for spirit is gone.
Hope or hosts?
Hope. There is no spirit without hope.
It's not hosts?
No, it's hope. There is no spirit without hope. And to me, what that means, and it's very clear, it means there's no need for the idea of spirit without this human construction of hope. We need to hope that we live after death. We need to hope that there's more to us. And so we invented, or we imagine, or we feel spirit. I love the song. I think it's fucking amazing. I'm glad it was up against Predators. Not looking forward to the vote. All right, Michelle, what do you got?
This is a magical moment for me right now. The beginning of this song and the intro does something to me. I feel it. It is a rabid cluster of gnarly grooves. So tense and perfect. And then Andy releases this scream and joins back in. Underneath this snarled mass is one of the most glorious motherfucking drum solos, drum shuffles John ever played. I didn't mean to say solo, I meant shuffle. And that video that you talked about, Jordan, holy fuck, man, there's a camera right above him, and you can see exactly what he's doing. The finesse of this guy. Oh, God, it's just... if you watch it, you're going to start drooling.
I haven't had a chance to, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, Matthew, it's
you got
so
a treat.
Juicy.
You got a treat.
Juicy. It's so juicy. It's magic and absolutely astounding to listen to. I have always wished this was its own song, and I'm not the only one, as Ghosts of Time, like we were just talking about, popped up much later, and there's a video of them playing it that way. So yes, please. You can actually see John laying it down and singing, and it's glorious. The filming is fantastic. So yeah, I've gone back and forth with this video. It's a treat. Now to the rest of the song. The beginning leads so well into the arpeggiated, creepy, and foggy music. The music always sounds kind of foggy to me, right?
Yeah. Good description.
Yep. It's creepy, but it's foggy. And it holds the lyrics so well. There's
Mm-hmm.
interjections of some chaos with the you think you have time parts. Very percussive and very attacked. And once again, they perfectly loop back to the arpeggiated parts Andy and Rob are playing. And I absolutely, like you said, Jordan, Andy's guitar work in this and just getting these crinkly little, I don't even know the word for it, but he's just
There is
fiddling
no word
around.
for it.
But I mean, it sounds like fiddling around, but it's obviously not. But it's just
It's so artful. It's so
it's
artful.
like a skeleton just trying to stagger into the fog. Or yeah, you know what I'm saying? This song is so hard, so compact, and artfully delivered. Do you really care? Yes, I fucking do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, two musical things I forgot to say that I want to put in here real quick. That fake fade out after the last verse when it when they fade the audio out almost all the way before they come rhymed. That is fucking beautiful. And for them to end this dirgy fucking song with that hilarious little bit of like tape melting and then Rob's where he just like has that super they like pitch up his laugh really fast. That's fucking beautiful to end it with like a ghostly funny sting.
The Riddler. Amazing. He sounds like the
Anyway,
Riddler.
Sorry about that. He does sound like the Riddler.
The beginning of that song, like the Ghost of Time, I think that's some of the best music they ever wrote. I swear to Christ.
It's really good.
I don't even know what notes they're playing, but it's just this ball of like, it's like what my mind sounds like with this, that guitar that screams. Fucking hell.
All right, Matthew, what do you got for us?
I've always loved this song. This is one which I never would have thought this, but reading the Facebook groups and stuff like that, this is often one that people dislike.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't quite get it. It'd be hard to say which is my favorite song in this album, but this is certainly a contender. And I developed an entirely new relationship with it. I mean, 0 + 2 = 1. I have my very first association with it. I've mentioned this before. I bought it at Funhouse Records from Kev Lee, and I went a couple doors down and I had coffee with my dad and his best friend. And
so that's like, awesome, man.
right from the very beginning, I associated it with that memory. And then this song helped me cope with losing my dad. 30 years later. This and Joyful Reunion, which comes after it, is one of the most potent 1-2 punches, I think, on any of their albums for me. Right up there with it's Catching Up in the Tower. It is. This one is the uncertainty, and then Joyful Reunion is like the rebound. So it's difficult for me to separate them. But I walked around East Vancouver. Just up and down the alleys, listening to them over and over again and crying. And it really helped me cope with the loss of my dad. This song.
Wow. Oh, neat.
And Joyful Reunion after it. So it might have like knit them even more in my mind, even though they're, one right after the other. But yeah, some of the most beautiful lines. Nobody passes the test of time. The long climb into thin air. The other expression, you vanish into thin air.
Climb into thin air.
The long climb is life, and then you vanish. You're just not there anymore. And that is, I think, maybe the hardest thing about grief, when that person just isn't there.
All right. Yeah.
They've vanished into thin air. Like they're just for a long time after you lose somebody that you really care about. I will think about like all this war in Ukraine stuff going on. Geez, I should tell my dad. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That presence is still there, and that's exactly what this song is about, I think. The ghosts are our memories. That I am not a religious person. I do believe that people survive as long as they're remembered, to a certain extent, and maybe it's not such a bad thing when the people who remember them, the people who love them, they go into thin air as well. It's not a terrible thing. It's just a thing. Um, you think you have time, you have no time, and I guess that for yourself, but also for the people that you like to spend time with, you have to value those moments because they will go into thin air eventually. And again, it's not sad; it just is. And yeah. You stand in line, you have your place, and in the space of moments fall from again and again and again to not at all. So even the tedium of everything, the most exciting moments, the most boring moments, the most repetitive things, the most rare occasions, and then they're just gone. So yeah, the memory of as a loaded gun. But I remember everyone. It is a difficult thing.
So heavy.
It's almost like a poisoned well, like when you're dealing with grief, and that's what I think the song is about in large part. It's about people, but it's also about like your shit.
Yeah.
Things that are gone that aren't going to come back. Like maybe it's about your youth. Maybe it's about somebody who isn't dead but is not accessible to you anymore. Maybe it's about fun times you had. Maybe it's a restaurant that closed. Who knows? It's all this stuff that to remember it is, sometimes it's nourishing, but it's also potentially painful. So a memory is a loaded gun. So I remember every one. I remember every one of my memories. Or I remember everyone. I remember every person that I've lost.
Right, everyone that he's doing that thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
My waistline, I remember that fondly.
Exactly.
Not so much anymore.
And then, why are you scared? There's no one there. Why are you afraid of these things? There's nothing actually there. I think it's a song about, accepting those ghosts, accepting your memories, accepting those feelings, accepting the uncomfortable feelings, because at the end, you're clean, strong, and free, like you always wanted to be. You're alone. You're alone. There's no one there. And maybe by the end, if you exercise yourself of these ghosts, of these feelings, then you are alone. So, maybe, embrace your ghosts. Embrace the memories.
Like a bedtime prayer. It's like Rob giving us a bedtime prayer.
Yeah. A scary bedtime prayer.
Right?
And then musically, I love the contrast. There's like these incredible high-pitched guitar sort of strumming bits. They're very tight. They're very kinetic. And then just that lurching main riff. Ba-doom, ba-doom,
you gotta watch.
The double snare hit is so incredible. The tom, the double snare, the cymbal work. Andy, if you're listening to this, all of this stuff that you do and did, there's muttering, there's snickering, there's chattering, there's laughing, there's all of these little things. They're the fucking ghosts, they're the gremlins, they're all of these little niggling beasts in our psyches and everything like that. So like whether you are a believer in such things, metaphorically, I think it's impossible to deny that we all have these little gremlins in our souls, in our memories. Whether or not they actually exist is kind of immaterial because they do haunt us. We're all haunted, and there are no castles without ghosts. see. Yeah, you can. The voices buried underground, and then the words that echo underground. No matter how much you attempt to ignore them, you can still hear them. These echoes, these ghosts. So yeah, again, like maybe you just shouldn't try because they're going to be there, and maybe you're less if you try and exercise your ghosts.
The telltale heart.
Yeah,
That guy under the floorboards.
We talked about the John instrumental, and it was sort of in the same breath as like the Joy Happy Bridge Ghost thing, and I sort of talked about the John instrumental as an unpopped popcorn kernel, but I'm sure glad that. I'm sure glad that this one popped because
they popped it good, covered it in butter and salt.
One of my absolute favorites, and one that has been a real help to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
awesome.
And all that heavy emotional shit, which I'm trying not to tear up, honestly. Right at the end, I love the sort of thing that you mentioned, but they say something, that tape melting and the chattering. They say, is it?
Was that a take?
Was that a take? I think he says second take for sure. Like this one sucked.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Are you saying they say that at the end or something?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what they say.
Was that a take?
Second take for sure.
Second take for sure.
Oh my god, I've never heard that.
I think that maybe
then Rob's laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never heard that.
So that is about all I have to say. This is one of those real kaiju for me. One of my favorite and most affecting songs that No Means No, and pieces of art that I have experienced my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to speak directly to the podcast listeners now for a second. We've heard from a number of you, and maybe not enough, but a number of you. One of the things that we hear really commonly, which is probably the best compliment we could possibly get, is that our podcast has forced you, allowed you, given the opportunity to reevaluate songs that you maybe wrote off before because we're spending so much time kind of jabbering about them. If you're someone who ever wrote this song off, do yourself a favor and reevaluate it a little bit. Sit down sit down with fucking headphones. First of all, if you're not listening to this with a good set of headphones, you're not listening to it. This song is
so
layered.
much detail. Yeah.
It's so much detail.
All those little sounds, all that John sound effects.
You cannot be sitting there doing the dishes or vacuum. You need to sit in a fucking chair or maybe on a walk. That's good. But just let it wash over you, okay? Just do that for us. We're giving you this podcast. Do that for us. Reevaluate this. And this one should be high in the canon. And I've never understood why. Because just like you, Matthew, I've seen a lot of people not necessarily shit on this song, but just sort of not take it very seriously.
Oh, it's not fast and speedy, and
like it doesn't fit in on the album and all this shit. Yeah, I don't know. My hands are shaking. Honestly.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. That was a beautiful tribute to it, and reevaluate it. Yeah. And on that note, let's.
It's heavy.
We're going to vote now. I don't like this vote because I know what I'm voting for, but I do feel like these are two really good exemplars of two really important parts of No Means No.
I know.
So this is not an easy one. This is not like, oh, well, a light song and who cares? And, oh, it's heavy, so I got to vote for it. No, Predators is a great exemplar of something that's very important about No Means No. And that was one of the things that makes them so fucking great. But Ghost is a kaiju, just like you, Matthew. It's got to be Ghosts for me. So my vote's for Ghosts. Michelle, how about you?
Oh, I am ghosting it so much too. Oh yes. Oh hell yes. Nice. Especially, Matthew? I mean, everything you guys said, it just carries it. And I've always, every time I hear this song, and like I said, especially beginning with this fucking tumor, this song has always been something that I hold in my hands.
Yeah,
it's just condensed and hard. I don't know. Yes. I sound like a hippie. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I love Ghosts. Oh, holy shit, I love Ghosts. Yes, I'm voting for Ghosts. Plural.
You brought up It's Catching Up. I think when you're talking about, and I wanted to say that I had the thought, and I hadn't. And normally, I will leave, if I'm walking or something, like listening to these songs, I'll send myself an email so I don't forget. This one I forgot that Predators is the other side of It's Catching Up. It's from the perspective of it.
Of it.
Oh, right.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that is funny. I see what you're saying.
I can't believe that one hasn't come in rotation yet.
Oh,
yeah, no doubt.
All right,
but
wait,
I think it's pretty clear. This is like a force of nature for me.
Right.
In flowing in my
your life.
blood, something that it's a neurotransmitter. It's got to be ghosts because. It is nourishing. It's a nourishing song.
This song is relish. All right, Ghosts goes through. I want to share one last really petty, stupid, fucked up thought I had. Not fucked up, but dumb thought I had about this song. When and if this catalog goes back on Spotify.
Yeah.
Every Halloween we'd dork around and look for stupid Halloween playlists on Spotify, which they do, and there's always so much fucking bullshit in there. Except that last year one of them included the Sacrelishious 3 cover of Halloween, which is fucking brilliant. If you've never heard it, go look it up right now.
Oh no
but
shit.
This song needs to go in rotation on those Halloween playlists so that it can blow people's fucking minds. So Spotify, if you're listening, throw it in there. All right. And not just because it's called Ghosts. It's because the texture of this song is a fog with skeletons and gremlins coming and tickling your basal
Matthew,
ganglia.
watch that video. You're gonna shit.
Oh yeah.
And everybody else
Like there's a camera right above John. You can see his whole set. You can see his legs.
Fucking crazy.
Oh God.
It also feels more jammy with Tom than I've seen in a lot of the videos. Like he's real jammy about it too.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
He's
speaking of jammy, I'm sure you can see John's jams and maybe his fanny pack also.
Oh yeah,
he's got the
his
shorts
jams.
on. He's
Big
got
time,
the shorts
big time.
on for sure.
You gotta be cozy when you're playing drums that hard. You gotta be cozy. It's not easy having 16 arms.
He's barely holding on to the sticks. That's what's
it's
just
amazing.
So amazing
All right.
to watch him.
It's time to have a reader submission. This time, I almost said this year. What the fuck? This time, we do not have a recorded submission, but we do have a wonderful little set of stories from Dan Baker. And he was kind enough to send that in to us. And I'm going to go ahead and read that for us as our listener submission. So sit right down. I'll tell the tale of the Desert Isle, however the fuck it goes on. All right. So this is me switching into my Dan voice. My name is Dan. I'm Jordan, but this is me being Dan. My name is Dan. I'm from Derby in the UK originally, although I'm living near Cambridge these days. The hills aren't as good as everything costs, but I get by. And everything costs more, but I get by. I can't read. I've had too much Armagnac. Okay, here we go. Origin story. There really isn't much to my origin story, and I'm afraid my story is probably very similar to many others. I was a teenage metalhead who, as I got older, got more interested in punk. By the time I was 16, I was a big Dead Kennedys fan, and when I was 17, a school pal of mine lent me 0 + 2 = 1. Obviously, not being a complete idiot, I was hooked immediately and quickly sought out their other records. It was a few years before I saw them live, for some reason. The Mr. Happy Tour with the 2 drummers and leads. I was at university in York at the time. Incredible show. I still remember it well. However, for reasons I forget, or maybe they didn't tour for a while in the later 90s, I didn't get to see them again for some years, which leads me nicely onto my personal story.
Oh, wow.
So,
let's hear this.
After university, it is fair to say I didn't really do a lot for a few years. I moved back home to Derby and ended up back at my parents' house for a year or so in between less salubrious lodgings. They lived in a very nice bungalow in a very pleasant and frankly quite posh village a few miles away from Derby City itself. I should add at this point that one of the reasons I haven't written in before is that due to a lack of social media, internet, smartphones back in those days, plus the fact that I was drinking a lot more back then, means most of my memories around dates and specifics is loose, to say the least. I've Googled a few things to try to make things a bit more accurate, but even so, yeah, you're not alone, Dan. That's many of us. Anyway, I used to go to lots of punk shows in Derby, usually on my own. I got past the stage of trying to get my friends into music tastes. I found it easier to just go on my own, as I could enjoy myself more without having to worry if my mates were having a good time or not. Screw those guys. Unfortunately, going to gigs on your own normally means drinking twice as quickly, hence the hazy memories. Anyway, the main punk haunt in Derby at the time was the Victoria Inn, and at one of these gigs, there was a Canadian band called Huevos Rancheros playing.
Yay!
Never heard of them. What is this?
Plus a Canadian support whose name I forget. During the gig, the band mentioned they were looking for a place to stay, as their place had fallen through due to some sort of argument between their Derby contract and his girlfriend. Derby contact and his girlfriend.
Darby.
Jesus Christ, you're going to fuck me up. At the end of the gig, I bumped into said band member and the gents and mentioned if they were really desperate, they could stay at my folks' house in exchange for a lift in their van. To my surprise, they were very keen, so I quickly found myself in the back of a van on the way back to my folks with a bunch of mystery Canadians.
Oh,
My mom and
they're
dad
great
took it
guys.
surprising.
Huevos Rancheros are great guys.
My mom and dad took it surprisingly well, and all went very well. I even got some free CDs, so I was very happy with the outcome. Cut to maybe a couple of years later, and the show business giants somehow ended up playing at the Vic. At the time, I had no idea who they were, but the poster said, featuring members of No Means No, so long I went. I think it's fair to say the gig was slightly underattended. In other words, I think there were less than 10 of us there.
Oh, no.
However, being a
How
show
many-
business...
What? I wonder how many showbiz giants would have been on tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Goddamn.
However, being a Showbiz Giants gig, it was obviously lots of fun. Now, again, this is where my memory lets me down. Either their TM driver was the same guy from the Huevos Rancheros tour and remembered me, or possibly I mentioned during merch chat that I had a bunch of Canadians stay at my place previously. But either way, it was quickly agreed that the Giants would be the next lot of Canadian reprobates to benefit from my folks' hospitality.
Oh,
After
no
that,
way.
After that, the chaps came back a few more times, either as No Means No or Hanson Brothers. It was usually their tour guy, possibly a chap called Gidge.
Oh,
Gidges?
yeah. How do you say it,
Gee.
Matthew?
Geeds?
I think
Gidge?
Geis.
Guys?
Gijs, I think is how
Who
you
would
spell it.
email me ahead of time asking if it were okay for them to stay over. Although I think it was Tom who
nice.
contacted me in later years. As you can imagine, every time this happened, it completely blew my mind that one of my favorite bands ever were actually staying at my folks' house.
Right.
I don't think I ever really got over being completely starstruck about the whole thing, which I remain slightly embarrassed about even now, but I'm hoping they get used to that a lot. Yeah, don't be embarrassed about that. Fucking, are you kidding me? Anyway,
Yeah.
I suspected they liked coming back because my parents' pad was probably a lot nicer than some other places they had to stay in the past. Fresh towels, hot showers, comfy beds. But it was always
Laundry.
It was always a real privilege to have them back. My mom loved having them for sheer anecdotal value alone. Plus, it was fun to make the numbers wonder what the heck was happening when their van used to pull into the street in the early hours. She drew a line at making breakfast, though, so we would pop down to the local cafe, a slightly swanky place for the older, gentle people called Godfrey's. Again, very surreal to look back on. I think my favorite memory is Rob sitting up in bed on his laptop in his very smart yellow PJs in my sister's old, very pink bedroom. I should add she was not present. I should add she was not present. I just wish I had thought to take photos, as it would have been lots of fun to have some pics of the lads hanging out with
in
Mom.
a pink bed.
As we all know, No Means No are a smashing group of chaps, always so down to earth, so friendly. They would often leave gifts. My mom still has her purple Dead Bob t-shirt. And thank you postcards from Tom that he would later post on their travels.
Oh, come on.
Sad to
that's
say,
cool.
Sad to say she never really got into the music, although I think I nearly won her round with Now once. In
Hey,
fact,
of
I
course.
think she had difficulty connecting some of the darker material with the lovely men who used to come and stay from time to time. Anywho, that's all I have to say. I think I may be too
Beautiful.
far along, so please edit as heavily as you see fit. We did not edit at all.
No.
Keep doing the great work. Your pal, Dan.
Oh,
Hey, Dan.
man.
Thank you, sir. That was
Yeah.
fucking awesome. And the
See,
rest
how
of
cool
you,
was that?
take fucking note, right? Be a Dan. Send us some shit.
Yeah,
Send
what's-
us,
What do we
send
need
us
to
some
do?
shit.
Okay, put an alert on your phone. I don't think that you guys are like, oh, fuck those guys. I don't want to do that. It's that you're forgetting. So everybody has a smartphone. So right now, as you're listening to this, pause me,
Smartphone.
pause it, and make a little note. Like while you're doing your fucking laundry or something boring, whatever. If I can take notes on your phone, everybody has a way to record. Just give us some shit, dudes.
Come on.
I love the stories of the band staying at people's houses.
Yes.
And I know
That's
there's
really
someone
funny.
that-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And hey, you guys don't have to have that kind of story, right? If this is just about you and your mates hanging out, getting drunk in the dorm room, whatever, I want to hear all of it. You don't have to
Totally.
have some shiny example of. I never got to meet the band. I started a fucking podcast about them. You know what I mean? Just fucking tell us what
You've
they
never
mean to
met
you.
any of them?
No, I've met Andy, of course. We know that, but none of the others.
But you've never
Neither
met
of the
John
others.
or Rob?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
wow.
John gave me a little
Oh, I'm
nod
sorry,
and a
that
wink
was
as I
shit.
passed
Yeah,
him once,
Tom.
but that was it.
He gave you a nod and a wink.
As I was wearing that No Yin Yang shirt, and he saw me as he was passing. He was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I'm like, "Yeah,
I
fucking is."
got toys from Tom.
Yeah, I know. In any event, ladies and gentlemen, here's our phone number if you wish to call us. By the way, we've gotten one call, which I'm very grateful for. Brian, nothing, but one fucking call. So call us at 415-493-8630. Break up your shit into 3-minute segments. We want to hear from you. We don't want to be doing this into the void. Come on.
Yeah, there were some
Anyway.
people like, "Oh, I'm in Brazil. I can't phone." That's fine. Email us. The internet doesn't care about your silly borders or your silly phones. Send in your submission to nomeansnothingpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Your No Means
right.
No origin story. An interesting anecdote related to No Means No. Your what No Means No means to you. Just send that shit on in. Dude from Brazil who can't phone us.
Why Ghosts is one of the best songs of all time. Whatever it is that you want to tell us, just go ahead. In any event, we've guilted you enough. It's time for the back half of the podcast where we have another 2 fucking googly-eyed pants poopers.
Mm-hmm.
So on this half of the podcast, we're going to deal with 2, again, very, 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 very different songs. We're going to start with Junk off Small Parts, Isolated and Destroyed, 1988, going up against Red on Red from the Mr. Wrong, Mr. Right fight, or Mr. Right, Mr. Wrong fight the system, 1 down, 2 to go, 1994. So first, I'm going to clear up some of this clutter, let you hear a little bit of this junk before we hear Matthew's take on this fucking song.
Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. And each day, each hour, each minute, each second. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. Above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. And each day, each hour, each minute, each second. We're crawling, crawling, clawing, falling. More, 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 more. And jump, 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 jump.
All right. Cue weird, garbagey toy noises. Matthew, it's you.
Craig Bougie.
I love the fact that I talked about Ghosts and now I'm talking about this, and both of them very, very different effects, but both of them have lots of John sound effects. And we've been told many different sources that John is the silly little boy who like to just make all kinds of interesting sounds. I mean, he's a percussionist. Like, it totally makes sense. He's just fascinated with sound, and so all the little squeaky toys and everything like that in the song are
Fanny pack.
quite different from the clanking and chains
Blinking
and whatever the
and
fuck else
beeping
is in
and
from Ghosts.
blinking.
So, little known fact: this song, "Junk," after it was released on Small Parts, Isolated and Destroyed, took off on its own to become a band called Pigment Vehicle.
No fucking point. What?
Wait.
No, the song
What?
itself, it split into 3 different people and became a band called Pigment Vehicle.
just manifested itself on its own and became. I see what you're trying to do
Oh,
here.
okay.
I see what
All
you're
right.
doing.
I'm being
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
PV.
When I listen to this song, it is it's brilliant, like it's brilliantly recorded, these excellent production, but I don't think the mastering's very good, and I really wish that I could hear so many of these songs better. I really wish that they would remaster small parts, because there's like incredible stuff going on. I really like, again, I got new headphones and I'm really enjoying that. But yeah, stuff moves from side to side. The vocals move from side to side. The drums move from side to side. The guitar and the bass don't do that too much. But yeah, like when a fill, a tom run, like starts in your upper left and goes down to the bottom right. That's amazing. That's fun. I really enjoy that.
Sphincter tickle right there.
Indeed. Yeah.
Proctology exam.
So yeah, anyway, there's a lot of little things in this song. It's a song about things. I don't know whether it's probably literal things, but it's also just complexity in general. I think sort of our opinions, our the way we like to portray ourselves. It's all junk. It's all just extraneous shit that makes all the important things difficult to discern. And I think that's kind of what it's about. I mean, like you say, it's literal things or metaphorical things. It's just above us is the garbage, below us is the earth. So we're just trapped between the I guess so, like the practical and the clear, and above us is acquisition, it's pollution, it's complexity, it's everything extraneous that we do not need, superfluous stuff versus the practicality and reality. And it's difficult to tell, sort of like it's one of Andy's really great vocal performances.
Oh
again.
My God. Just oh fuck. Just don't even try it yourself.
So many thoughtful bits, and then snotty bits, and then angry bits. Yeah, he's just a fantastic vocalist. And man, this song, new perspective again on it because of the job that I do.
Which has a lot of junk.
It does.
Yeah, you do.
it does indeed. I work for a company that we make stuff. We make sets for ads and for stage and for all different kinds of things, TED Talks, whatever else.
Shit. I thought it was just theater stuff.
So a lot of our there's a lot of stuff in one of the places that I spend a lot of time, and some of it's very dusty, some of it has been there for a very long time, so and it means something to.
But it's cool stuff.
Some of it's cool.
Yeah.
Some of it would be cooler if it hadn't been there for so long. Yeah. Hi, Fader. Anyway, yeah, no, it is. I think it's a song about the dangers of acquisition of too much stuff, and how sometimes it obscures what's important. Musically, again, the way what I was saying about it became a Pigment Vehicle is because it is so tight. So it's, I think, maybe one of John's most virtuosic drumming songs. It is just fucking incredible how many different kinds of things he does and how many different parts there are into this 3.5 minute song, which is, ideal radio length. But there's so many different like avenues and blind corners in this, and cul-de-sacs, and
it does not feel
freeways.
Like 3 minutes 38 seconds.
No.
This song, it really does not.
Oh, it's so good.
Certainly not. Like the jazz bridge with the fucking hi-hat is crazy. The part with the squeaky toys with the real sinuous guitar and bass. Yeah. And, again, lyrically, clawing, falling. We're just trying to acquire all the stuff, and we're all trying to achieve something we're just, I guess a Sisyphean task of acquiring all this shit, trying to achieve some pinnacle that you're never going to fucking reach because you keep building it higher. You'll just fall off and have to start up again as you add your shit to the pile. And I'm so glad that they use squeaky toys as a
yeah.
Like, it's such great sounds, but I mean, what a superfluous thing is a squeaky toy. It's this rubbery
tell that
thing.
To your dog, though. Come on, they love
No, but
but it all ends up as junk. Every dog squeaky toy gets fucking ruined and ends up in a landfill. It's junk.
They destroy it to get the squeaker out, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's the beating heart. That's the predators. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
nice.
Anyway, yeah, fantastic song. I love the panning vocals, the panning drums, and yeah. Oh, yeah. One interesting thing. Above us is the garbage. Below us is the earth. Just as a linguist, it's interesting that it doesn't say the earth. It's the earth. It's a little bit awkward. It's like a little kid or like somebody who is not super fluent. It's above us is the earth. Anyway.
And each day. Yeah, it's all sort of, it's not mush mouth, but it's minute, like a lazy. Yeah.
Each second. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Song all about things and how there's too many things.
Stuff.
Michelle, what you got for us?
All right. In my humble opinion, this indeed may be the most musically complex piece they've ever composed. The guitar and bass start out with what I think is a Phrygian scale or mode.
Oh.
Yeah. Go Phrygian. Up to the piano. Phrygian. That's one of the 7 modes.
It's also the name of the little red cap, the symbol of revolution in the coat of arms of many Central American nations. Phrygian.
Same spelling.
It's probably to do with something Greek. That. It sounds great to me. It's all great to me.
Yep. Shit. Listen, go up to a piano, find the E. All right, it's 2 up from the middle C, and play all the white notes up to the next E, and then add a dash of funkitis. And I have spoke to a certain person about this, and I know that this is a John composition. It's probably pretty fucking obvious that it is.
Makes sense to me.
All right, Matthew, I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. Time to poop your pants. The time signature of this
5/4.
Yeah.
5/4.
4 a bit, and then let me get to that. The time signature is in 5, and if you solely listen to John, you will, and I underlined will, and in all capital letters, you will shit your pants.
I did multiple times. It's a fact.
Oh my God, listen to him.
It's a fact.
The wait a minute, please wait a minute is so wonderfully done with the pleading words and the chaotic music. Then we get to the above us is the garbage, below us is the earth, and this section is in 7.
Fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. This composition is utterly unreal and is one of the most profound pieces they ever wrote. It's a buffet of complex fucked upness that shows off their massive talent and delivery. And this song in particular, I didn't write this down, I'll just tell you. I remember listening to this on my Walkman when I was living in New York in my first apartment. It had the smallest fucking, I don't even know if you could call it a kitchen. But once in a while I'll see these things. It's like a 3-foot, it's like a 2-burner.
Kitchenette.
It's the food cubicle.
Oh, it was so compact. But I remember, and there was a little sink. I remember listening to this, doing my dishes.
A singlet.
This is in Sinklet. This was before the internet, so it was 1994. It was not really out there yet. I was on my Walkman. I was listening to washing dishes in my little kitchenette thingy, and just again saying to myself, just like, who are these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this doing this? Like this, and I'd heard it for years, but it's just like, this is amazing, amazing music. That is this piece in particular, I think is their most complex piece. I'm putting money down that it is. The other ones sound complex, but this one is just over the top.
Maybe Paradise in this one, yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking this is it. That's where my money's going.
So 100% on both of what you guys have said. And I think musically, this is one of those pieces where it cements how this band is absolutely impossible to pin down. Like, you cannot say, oh, they're this, oh, they're this. Like, no, they're fucking not. They made junk. Like, fuck you. Put this on. You can't pigeonhole this shit into anything. This song is unquantifiable. It is its own thing. I'm sure the influence is here, influence is there, but it's its own.
Remember when I said it was math rock and people called it junk because it was jazz and punk? Maybe they were like junk. Maybe
they were like junk.
I'm sorry. I just.
But no, that's a good one. And
no, that's good. Yeah,
that is good. Jazz, punk, junk. I like it. That's that fits on so many levels with this fucking song. It is. Yeah, I agree. Musically incredible. I don't mind the engineering as much as you do, maybe, Matthew, just because I feel like this whole album has that feeling to it that just feels like small parts, and so it's just nostalgic for me. So I don't mind it so much. I do love the engineering. I do love all the cross panning and all of that. I think they were clearly having a lot of fucking fun with it. John is having a lot of fun in many ways all over this fucking song. This has got his stains deeply embedded all over it in the most beautiful ways.
Those
stains. And to go back to Andy a little bit on here, there's a couple of these little bits that he has. But you know what I love about it? Do you know what I love about it? He said this before. He's not like he's not the most technically proficient player in the world. And that's to the benefit of the music. If he was really technically no, but listen, if he was really technically proficient and all of those little bits were played, shut up. If all those little bits were played fucking were played really, really well, like super tight, it wouldn't sound the same.
No.
It needs that sloppiness. Like, it's part of the music. It's what gives this song, gives his music real fucking character. That it lets the cracks in. One of my other favorite bands of all time, and I know Andy has really grown to love them as well, is this indie rock band Pavement. And one of the reasons they're so fucking good is that they're sloppy as fuck. There's all sorts of places where they're sloppy and the light comes in the cracks, right? There's that saying, what are the cracks for? It's where the light gets in. That's what I feel about Andy's guitar playing. And on this song, there's so much technical proficiency, but his guitar playing is where that crack gets to come in, where it's there's just something free and loose about it that is better than being super technical. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's fucking, it's amazing.
It's can't teach that either. That's like
no.
You're
exactly right. He's just there, like just fucking on it and texturing it, and it's natural. Fucking. It's amazing. It's amazing. Jeez. But everything else you guys said about this is right. The time signatures, I can never my brain can never totally nail in where this song's at. It's just always one step ahead of me. It's fucking crazy. And yeah, Matthew, I think in terms of the meaning, that I'm much aligned with you. Although I think it's gotten even more sort of technically literal and interesting in the fact that the sky really is fucking garbage now, and that we're probably a decade away from a major catastrophe when there's
starts dropping.
Shit collides up in the sky and it rains down on the earth. So above us is the garbage now, literally. And I also think above us is the garbage of all of the information that's passing over our heads all the fucking time. So not even a literal way, but just
piece.
Exactly. We're broadcasting all this garbage, all this shit. But yes, you're right, Matthew. It's about just the accretion of junk. And I think he nails that so well when he says, where's that line? It's, God damn it. So But now there's so much of this stuff around that when we look down on the ground, there's nothing there to see. Meaning there's just so much fucking junk that you look down, there's no more ground anymore. You don't even notice it anymore.
Undifferentiated, yeah.
Exactly. The ground is just covered with fucking junk. That's it. Well, I guess they just buried it somewhere else. You don't even notice that the ground is covered with junk anymore. You just figure out they must have buried it somewhere else.
Wait a minute, and then
Yes,
that bass
that's
like
right before.
Bow, and the bass
Exactly.
goes bow.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
God.
this song is gorgeous. It is.
Oh my God,
it's a masterpiece. It's defining on this album, and I mean, it's just from another fucking world. These people, and like you, Michelle, listening to this, you're like, who are these guys? Who's making music like this? Who
is doing this?
Andy's delivery, his vocal delivery is so good. He does that great.
Andy,
just, like as you pointed out, Matthew, from.
What?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, he says not the most technically proficient guitarist, but like, would you prefer to look at a Robert Bateman or a Jackson Pollock?
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, exactly. What he adds to it is like, I get bored with technical precision because it doesn't let in any of that other texture, the actual light of human experience, the actual light of the moment of being in the. He's not trying to recreate something. He's fucking in it.
Yeah.
And letting it be sloppy, and that gorgeous sloppiness adds a texture that the precision of John and Rob needs to make it something more than it would be outside of just the two of them.
It's a good way of playing.
And I loved Tom's work. I always loved Tom's work, but Andy did add in that element in a way that Tom can't, because he's not that guitar player.
But Andy's just like.
No, it's incredible what he adds to this band, and I don't know that there's another guitar player like him, and I don't want there to be. It's like it's so perfect for this fucking
And then
band.
you meet him, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, exactly. Junk is a masterpiece, and I love it, and I'm glad both of you do too. And I'm sorry for yelling at you. I didn't actually mean to yell at you. I wasn't serious about that, so don't take me seriously.
No.
I should mention.
All right,
John, just like as a drum thing, John doesn't use a lot of flams, but this song is all full of flams. It's pretty good.
Flams?
A flam, yeah.
What's
it's one of the
I know a
drum rudiment. No, flam. A flam is it's two notes that are played so close together that they appear or feel as one note.
Like the same.
Yeah, it's one of the drum ruddy.
Yeah, there is a lot of that in here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of flams.
Fuck. And I can never, this song, it's always one step ahead of the way my brain able to keep up with it, which I love. It keeps me off balance, this song, in the best fucking way.
Time signatures, 5 and 7. Put that in your plate and smoke it.
I didn't catch the 7 one. I caught the 5, which I remember makes me the liar, because I think earlier it said, 0 + 2 = 1. There are only 5/4 songs.
That's
fucking idiot.
One.
No, this is their first
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So good.
Above us is the garbage.
Below us is the earth.
All right. Funny, yeah. Ghost is one that people don't like, and Junk is one that a lot of people say it's their favorite.
Which, well deserved.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to a bit of a lesser. I don't know if this is lesser known, but it was a B-side, right? Someone just posted recently. I forget what the compilation was. I should have gone back and looked it up. But this appeared on a compilation as like a compilation of different punk bands. I don't remember what it was, but that's where this first appeared apparently. So this is Red on Red, 1 down, 2 to go. So don't feel blue. Have a little bit of this red for a moment.
Now take me into the 525.
All right, Matthew,
Right?
Yep. And what I like about this particular pairing is that both Junk and Red on Red, the main riff goes up,
yes.
which is pretty cool.
Hey.
Yeah, I like that. It's like I love that bass line. It goes like
It's
up.
chromatic. Yep.
And then this song is just so raw, straightforward. It actually, and I like the fact that it's in the same episode as Ghosts as well, because this song has always reminded me of Joyful Reunion.
Yeah.
In terms of
totally.
how driving it is and how, relatively, I'm not going to say simple, but maybe sort of simple in the structure, not in the playing.
Right.
But it's sort of repetitive and everything like that. So, I didn't really have enough time to sort of figure out what I think it means.
It's a tough one.
It's a very, very tough one. The structure is very straightforward. I don't think that it's one of those ones where if you were in a biker bar with a whole bunch of you could play Motorhead or you could play this, and they'd be probably into both.
Totally Motorheady. Yeah.
Yeah.
But better.
I do love the fact that he says "You kill me" in this song. It's just pretty cool. Yep. Let me just get the lyrics out because I wasn't familiar with all of them. Here we go.
Fucking Rob, man.
Rip me apart. I'm willing. I'm not sure what this song is.
It's about sex.
It could be about sex. It could be about loss or a breakup or anything like that. I actually think it's about the present. You have black and white, and duality is such a huge thing in No Means No. You have the good and the evil, the Slade and the Bob. The Red on Red, there's no differentiation. It's the past and the future. This is just the utter present. It's experience. There's no distinction. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it made me think of, because of that duality that's in so much of No Means No thing, that Red, I'm sure they're not thinking about the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which is the reason why I went into linguistics so very long ago. Languages, it's all about color terms. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis that color is a continuum. Everybody experiences it the same way. We just draw the frets in different places. And not every language has as many color terms or the same color terms as other languages. And do we see the color because we have the word for it? Or do we have the word because we perceive the color as distinct? And so there are languages which arguably have no color terms at all. And basically it just means sort of like dark and light or hot and cold sort of distinction. But if there's a third color term beyond like black and white or those sorts of that duality, it's red, almost universally across human languages. Which is quite interesting. Red is the color of blood. Red is the color of sexual excitement. Red is the color of violence.
Love.
Red is the color of ripe fruit as distinct in the green jungle. That's why we develop color vision, is so we can see that fucking nourishing thing.
Right.
Yeah. So that distinction from black and white, I don't know. It is the differentiation of experience. It's the accent. Red is the accent. Red is the distinction from like the banal. I don't know. I wear the scars like medals.
Oh, man.
That is one of my favorite lines in any No Means No song. The experience could be good, could be bad, but I'm glad I had it. And I wear the scars like medals, even though it hurt me. Right. I don't know if it's a song about, there's a lot of songs about kind of loss in this episode. Like Ghosts is about loss. This song could be about loss. Like Ghost is about, the acceptance of loss. This is about the, crying against like living despite loss. Junk is about the loss of in the absolute abundance, superabundance of like other sorts of like getting
Gluttony.
lost. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe
Costco.
this song is about the present. It's about experience. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to do some more thinking about it. But I kind of love this song. It really charges me up. I think this is possibly one of Rob's best vocal songs. He just
killing.
fucking belts it. Yep. Anyway, little incoherent, but maybe it's just because it's the way of the song makes me feel.
Yeah,
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, what you got for us?
This song kills. Just listen to the beginning of this. I remember hearing this for the first time and yelling out, "Jesus fuck!" And then I did. And then I just drew some googly eyes in there. Like, oh God, the way this starts out, are you kidding me?
Oh, fuck.
And then that, oh my fucking God. One of the most tremendous pieces with plenty of passion thrown in there. To me, Rob is all over his bass. And those chromatic riffs have some of the most attitude known to man. I am not sure if I recall these guys playing it much during concerts. Do you?
I saw it once. Yeah,
Really? You saw it once?
I saw it. I saw it when
Jeans?
they. Yeah, I did. It was on the
Jeez.
same tour that they played "Who Fucked Who," and it was fucking amazing.
Oh my God.
Red on Red, Who Fucked Who? Songs
Yeah.
that begin and end with the same word. Interesting.
Yeah.
John is going completely ape shit with some
Oh my God.
profound fills. The fucking fills John does?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh.
I think he must have been, just in terms of what and how he's playing these songs.
Fucking
Like
hell.
it's a kissing cousin to Joyful Reunion. It has to be.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's a good.
I don't know
good
what
call.
he's just sick. I'm falling in love with him. I gotta tell you, this song is a banger, a gem, a rockin' tune that is totally timeless and epic. Holy shit, this song is killing. There.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
This song is a fucking banger. I think everything you guys said, I agree with all over the place. I think the call out to Joyful Reunion is something I had noted down too. Absolutely has that feeling. It has that cathartic feeling to me. This is one of those cathartic No Means No songs that really just lets me. And again, I hadn't paid that much
Thelma
attention
and
to
Louise going off a fucking cliff. Like that last scene.
Exactly.
The car going off the cliff.
And like
triumphant
you,
destruction.
other than picking out a few of the lyrics here and there, it's not one that I ever paid that much attention to the lyrics because I don't have to. Because this song this song speaks to me like in my guts, not my mind, right? It's my guts that want to hear this. That said, reading it a little bit more again, I don't have this shit nailed down at all. But some interesting things. One, this is one of their songs where one of the few where they get a little self-referential, right? By no means, right? They do that in old as well, but they're throwing their name in there a little bit. It's also it's at least the second song to have a direct Macbeth reference, which is pretty great. Sound and Fury, which is from Macbeth, just like in Widget, they talk about Macbeth, so they know their good Shakespeare at least. But yeah, this is a song, it's cathartic to me, and this almost strikes me sometimes as a song that's the song of release and acceptance and fucking red on red, not anger, but just righteous fury that so many of their point of view characters deserve after having lived the shit that they've lived, right? So the guy who had to sit and live in that house on the top of the hill for this wound will never heal, fuck you. And there's even a little line in here that made me think of that when they said, once she lived here, now she's gone. Like there's all these little bits that made me feel out to other songs. As if there's this feeling of this is the song that all the fucked up protagonists get to sing on their way out to go, you know what? Fuck this shit. I am ready.
Go over the cliff.
I am ready to wear these scars like medals. I'd also highlighted that line. It really feels like, let me take this pain and this anger and turn it into something glorious. Let me take red, which is pain, and layer it with red, which is my righteous fucking glory, right? This just these two poles of red being something that can mean death, but it can mean passion. These two things right on top of each other. I'm going to take that pain and lay my passion on it. Fuck you. Red on red. And just the way that with the passion that he sings it with, like you said, it's one of his glorious performances.
Holy shit.
I can only imagine this is the reason it's a real B-side. I don't know where it would fit on any other album, right? But so glad we got to fucking have this song. Well, I'm just glad we got to have it. There's so many great songs on this fucking album, a bunch of which we haven't even gotten to yet. And one of their rare songs that front loads the fuzz guitar, like the guitar so heavy. There's some great bass in there that comes out, but the rest of it's just this.
It's so driving,
It's so driving, and then it pulls back and it lets Rob with the crocodile crawling up your spine. And then the bass crawls up your spine. Exactly. And you pointed that.
You sound just like him.
It's something that I'd neglected to say in Junk, even though it was in my fucking notes, that I love that they have that, just like you, Matthew, that upward, the upward crawling bass line. And in Junk, it happens right when he's also saying, don't crane your neck, crane your neck. And it's going up while he's doing it. It's just fucking great. This song is a banger. You could put this on at any fucking punk party and someone would be dead by the end of it. They'd be moshing so fucking hard in the shit. Lots of googly eyes. I'm going to have to change my shorts after this one.
Oh my God.
Chef's Kiss, Red on Red. Love it. All right.
We haven't just before. There are a couple of lyrics, which we don't normally do this, but none of us kind of got into these here, but sound and fury unjustified, words polluted with ego implied, but there's a crocodile crawling up your spine. What's that mean? That mean?
Isn't it?
I sat and thought about it.
It's about the ego, jealousy. Maybe it's about some asshole being like puffed up and being too big for himself, and like there's some humility coming. I don't know.
Isn't it the crocodile is like the green, the envy?
Maybe
it could be. It could also be if it's crawling up your spine, like it's that animalistic energy that can't be suppressed by all the bullshit that you're trying to spout. It's just bigger than that, and it's gonna fucking come out. I don't know, man. This song's hard to pin down. This song's hard to pin.
Build it up,
down.
then tear it down. The bells are ringing. The prayers are done. Once she lived here, now she's gone. So rip it up and tear it down, but it won't be long.
Won't be long.
Won't be long. Man, it won't be long.
It won't be long. Yeah, so good.
What is it that's being built up? I think it is maybe about the ego, about expectation. It's like live in the now, live in the moment. I don't know.
Build it up and then tear it down, right? Like anyway, it's.
This is their what's that one song? Now go, walk out the door. You don't think no, you don't love me no more. Come on,
what is that? What's the fucking song?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I love you. Sing it.
I will survive.
I will survive. It's the I'll Survive song by Gloria Gaynor. I think that's her name. I don't give a fuck.
It is catharsis dressed in a sexy ass red dress. It is fucking gorgeous.
Kicking. It's kicking.
It is kicking. It's gorgeous. All right. Well,
there's a foot in the air. Rob's got his foot in the air.
This song, neither of these songs are lucky with their pairings. Let me just say it. So Matthew, unfortunately, no. You know what? Let's put Michelle on the fucking hot seat first. No escaping for you, Michelle.
What?
Who's your vote? Who's your vote for?
Who's
Michelle?
My vote? Oh my
Michelle,
God!
Michelle, who's your vote?
I like Junk.
She likes Junk.
I like Junk.
She likes Junk.
I am voting for Junk. Oh my God. I love Red on Red though. Jeez. All these songs tonight
4 bangers.
Are killing.
4 bangers.
This is a good episode. I gotta tell you, these got good songs in it, but I'm voting for Junk.
Yeah. All right, Matthew, what about you?
I've been walking to work. I take the same route. There isn't a lot of unlike most places in Vancouver, you can usually take a different route to places, but I have to go over fucking train tracks. Only one bridge. So I've been listening to the same songs in the same order. It's almost the exact same length of time. These 4 songs. My walk from work. So I don't know. I got to thinking over and over again. My instinct was to go for Junk because it's so technically proficient and so amazing, everything like that. But Red on Red just makes me.
Yeah.
So I gotta vote for Red on Red.
Oh God. Oh shit. Oh, hey. Jordan.
So honestly, legit, at this very moment, I do not know where I'm going to go.
Dude, do I need to sell this to you?
No, you don't. You don't. So I think much like I'm not much like Matthew. I'm not saying that's what my vote is, but in terms of how I feel about these songs, these are again two poles of No Means No. Like our first pairing, these represent two important poles. The technical,
there's the brain and the balls.
The brain and the balls, right?
Right.
And I think they're both important for that. They're both great exemplars of that. And this song is a great song that the Red on Red with Rob's passion, and yet John's songwriting and the snarliness and the depth of everything they write in Junk is so fucking good.
Oh God. Do the right thing, bruh.
I am voting for Junk in this round.
Yeah.
I am voting for Junk. I do love Red on Red, and it was not.
Which is interesting. It's like
easy.
Red on Red is Junk is not the balls.
No, it's not. So I guess I've castrated myself.
Oh no!
No. But they're such great songs.
Oh my God!
They're such great songs.
No! That was not easy. I shouldn't say that was easy. I went back and forth for like a week of walking to work. Like I'm gonna vote for this one. I'm gonna vote for this one. But no, it's not easy. And I hate it. I hate myself for voting that way.
Unfortunately, well, for better or worse, Ghosts is gathering up its junk and walking into the next round.
Jesus.
Predator is dripping on red on red and is settling down for a long winter's nap, maybe to pop up for in its People's Choice for round 2. I will see. But you've made
Life
it.
in Hell doesn't come back. There's going to be some.
There's going to be some real life in hell for us, I think, right?
Yeah.
But listen, unfortunately, this is the end of our episode because this week we do not have an Andy's Correction Corner. I hear many of you racing to turn off the podcast right now before you can hear any of the rest of it.
Is it me trying to sing your guitar solos? Is it me?
No, there just weren't anything to comment for Andy to comment on. That's all.
Yeah, he's got a couple. We'll get it. We'll get it back.
Right.
We'll get it back. There's some in this one, right? In any event, all that's to say, this is at his pleasure, and we're more than fucking lucky that he's bothered to give us shit. So if he never gave us anything more, we'd be rich for everything he gave us. In any event, No Means No Thing is produced and edited by yours truly, Jordan Flato. Its co-hosting and podcast graphics are by the amazing Matthew Kowalik. Michelle's Strangest is our third and everyone's favorite co-host and official Foley artist. Thank you to No Means No for the use of stock taking as our intro and outro music. And I think both of you know what the fucking stinger is going to be. So on the count of 3, 1,
wait,
2. Oh, come on. You know it. 1,
stinger?
2, 3.
Relish.
Thank you very much.
Darby.
All right, if you've stuck around, you fucking derby shit, that was hilarious. All right, if you've stuck around, we're gonna draw, and I've got to do this because now I got to go get my daughter to bed. I've just pulled round 1. I've just pulled round 1. This one's a little bit underwhelming for me. I'm sad to say, but
that means
let's get
I'm
him
gonna
out
like
of the
it.
way. Well, maybe. All right, we've got and here comes round a bit 2. These are a round of kind of also rans, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good episode. Don't get me wrong. Come back. But I can't say that pants will be pooped.
Oh,
There's some good ones there.
number 2 there's pretty promising to me.
I know they're all promising. And again, these are one of those ones where I need to go back and go, well, maybe I haven't given this song enough credit.
No, I don't think you have. Number 2.
Yeah, number 2's got some good ones. And number 2's got some good ones. Number 1.
Number 2 of number 2.
It's there.
Poop's poop.
It's something. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've reached the end of our podcast for real this time, so fuck off.